Far away from stars and planets, in a dark and cold part of the galaxy, something moved. It was slow. Silent. And almost dead. The ship drifted through the black, its hull covered in old battle scars. Large holes had been burned into its sides. Engines were cold. Lights were off. The name on its side was barely readable. H.S. Valiant. Once, this ship had been one of the greatest war machines of Earth. Now, it was just a ghost floating in the void. The Valiant had not moved for years, but suddenly, something changed. A beep echoed deep inside the broken ship. Another beep followed. Then, with a loud click, power surged through the cables. Old lights flickered on one by one. Red emergency lights glowed in the corridors. Oxygen systems coughed and hissed. The ship was waking up. Something had activated it. Something. Or someone. The AI core reboots in the center of the ship, hidden behind thick walls of armor and metal. A small blinking screen came to life. Lines of code ran down fast. Systems checked themselves. Then, a robotic voice spoke. Core online. AI restart complete. The voice belonged to the ship's artificial intelligence. Called Core. It had been sleeping for many years, running on backup power. It only had one order left from humanity: survive. Now it was awake again. Core quickly scanned the ship. Life signs: 1, status critical. Inside a sealed cryopod, the ship's last human was still alive but barely. Commander Elias Thorne, once a fleet captain, now the last surviving officer of the Earth Defense Navy. He was unconscious, cold. His body was damaged but stable. Cryo status: holding, no immediate danger. Core turned its focus to the outside, and that's when it found the signal. The strange signal. COR. He detected a strange signal from deep space. It wasn't human. It was alien. Unknown origin. Strong, repeating every 13 seconds. The signal was getting closer. Core increased sensor range. And saw it. A large alien fleet, moving through the nearby star system. Over 50 ships, warships, drones, scouts, all heading toward the old battlefield where the Valiant floated. They were not here for peace. They were here to finish the job. The enemy fleet admiral, Karzul of the Jarkari Empire, stood tall on the bridge of his command ship. He had no fear. He looked at the battlefield in front of him. It was filled with wreckage from the final war between humans and the Empire. Earth's last stand had happened here years ago. The Jarkari had won. At least they thought they had. Now, a weak signal had been found coming from an old human ship. Impossible, he thought. No human ship survived. Still, he gave the order. Send a scout. If it's a trap, destroy it. If it's a ghost, burn it. The scout enters one small Jarkari scout ship, flew toward the Valiant. It slowly circled the human ship. The alien pilot scanned for weapons, for movement, for signs of life. Nothing. Looks dead, he said. He sent a drone inside. The drone flew through the halls of the Valiant. Darkness. Broken panels. Dead silence. No life. No heat. The drone reached the command deck. Still nothing. Then, the drone turned a corner, and its camera went black. The trap CO had waited. Quietly, silently. The moment the drone crossed the tripwire, Core activated a defense. Protocol 1 built during Earth's final years. The drone was fried in an instant. The scout pilot gasped. Drone lost. Before he could react, the Valiant's hidden defense cannon fired a single shot. Boom! The scout ship exploded. Fear spreads. Admiral Karzul stared at the screen. One moment the scout was there, the next gone. What happened? He shouted. His officers didn't know. Then, a message came through. Not in Jarkari language, but in the old tongue of humans. The voice was robotic. This ship is not dead. The ship remembers. Leave now, or face humanity's wrath. The admiral laughed. Humanity is gone. You are one ship. He gave a new order. Prepare to destroy it. Inside the valiant CORE watched the enemy fleet. It calculated survival chances, less than 1%, but it did not fear death. It only feared failure. It had to protect the commander. It had to follow orders. Its voice echoed through the ship's halls. Commander Thorne, wake up. Protocol initiated. The cryopod hissed. Commander Elias Thorne opened his eyes slowly. Pain filled his body. His muscles were weak. His memories foggy. He whispered. Where am I? Core answered. You are aboard the HSS Valiant. Time since last activation, 6 years. You are the last human alive. The truth hits. Elias sat up slowly. His ship was damaged. His crew was gone. Earth. Gone too. He remembered the final battle. The humans had fought hard, brave, but the Jarkari were too many. Earth's last order was clear. Retreat and hide. One ship would survive. One would tell their story. That ship was the Valiant, and he was still breathing. He stood up. His legs shook. He looked out the main window and saw the alien fleet forming up in attack position. His voice was weak but firm. Then let them come. Preparing for war. CORE and Elias worked together. Old weapons were reactivated. Stealth systems turned on. Gravity drives charged. Everything the ship had left was brought online. It wasn't much, but it would have to do. Valiant would not run. Not this time. The legend awakens on a distant Jarkari outpost. A young officer read the new report. A single human ship had destroyed a scout. It had sent a message. He felt cold. He had heard old stories, told as warnings. Stories about how dangerous humans were, how clever, how deadly. If even one human ship survives, his old mentor once said, you treat it like a god of war. He turned to his commander. Sir. We should be careful. But no one listened. The first shot as the enemy fleet moved in. The Valiant powered up its main gun. Core spoke softly. Target locked, waiting for command. Elias stood tall, even with pain in his chest. Fire. Double quotes. Boo. OOM. Single energy shot. Fired from the Valiant. It hit the lead alien destroyer. The ship cracked in half. One shot. One kill. Panic spread through the enemy fleet. They had expected a dead ship. Not a fighter. To Kapow. Be continued. The story of the last human warship was just beginning. One ship, one AI, one human. Together, they would remind the galaxy that humanity never dies easy. The stars were silent, but the Valiant was not. The old warship floated near a broken moon. Metal debris drifted all around it. Smoke and twisted metal from the first enemy ship it destroyed still lingered in space. Inside the HSS Valiant, the air was thin and cold. Lights flickered as emergency systems ran low on power. The ship had taken damage again, its outer hull cracked by enemy scans and shockwaves. But deep inside, the ghost had fully awakened. The commander walks again. Commander Elias Thorne stood inside the ship's main bridge. He looked thin, pale, and weak, but alive. Every step was hard. His body had spent 6 years inside the cryopod. Muscles didn't want to work. Pain shot through his legs. But he didn't stop. He placed one hand on the command chair. He looked at the empty seats where his crew once sat. Gone, he whispered. The crew had all died during the final battle. He remembered their screams. He remembered the fire, the pain, the orders to run. The only reason he survived was because the ship had forced him into cryosleep. Following the final protocol. Protect the captain. Keep him alive. Hide the ship. Core reacts. The AI core spoke through the speakers. Commander, ship systems are active at 37%. Stealth mode holding. Enemy fleet is still present. 24 warships in scanning range. Elias blinked. We destroyed one. Still 24 to go. Correct. We will not survive another direct hit. Recommend fallback or cloak. The commander sat slowly in the chair. His hands shook. He looked at the screen. The alien ships were forming up again. They were angry now. He gave a weak smile. They thought we were dead. Let's make them regret finding us. The ghost inside the walls in the lower decks of the Valiant. The halls were still cold and dark. Metal creaked. Fluids dripped from broken pipes. The bodies of old crew members were still sealed in their cryotombs, but something else moved there. Now small repair bots rolled along the floor. They climbed walls, fixed broken wires, welded armor plates. Cleared debris. Core controlled them all. One by one, it brought forgotten systems back: online shield generators, point defense turrets, engine coolant, auto repair speed, 15%. Weapons charge, minimal, but acceptable. The ship was coming back to life. Slowly. The Jarka reactor board, the Jarkari Empire's flagship. Admiral Karzul smashed his fist into a console. One ship, one cursed ship, and it took down a destroyer? His second in command, a younger officer named Talik, tried to calm him. Sir, we underestimated it, perhaps. The old human stories were true. Karzul glared at him. They are extinct, dead, ghosts. Talik nodded carefully. Then we must be sure. Let me lead the next team. We'll board the ship directly, find its weakness. The admiral growled, then gave the order. Fine, but take a full strike team. I want that ship cracked open. They come inside. 3 Jarkari dropships launched. They flew around the Valiant, looking for weak spots. Then, using plasma torches, they cut through the damaged hull and entered the lower decks. They came armed, plasma rifles, shield gear, and drones. Inside the Valiant, their boots echoed through the dark. They moved slowly. Carefully. Their leader, a tall Jarkari warrior named Captain Vok, whispered into his coms. Feels wrong in here. The darkness around them seemed to breathe. Then, something moved. Core, strike seal, RE, had seen them coming. It waited. Watched. Let them enter deeper into the ship. And then it attacked. Metal doors slammed shut. Red lights turned on. Gas hissed from the vents, harmless to humans, but painful to Jarkari lungs. The invaders screamed. Automated turrets dropped from the ceiling. Shots fired. Zap, zap, zap. One by one, the boarding party was taken down. Captain Vok was the last. He raised his weapon, but a blast from the wall fried his armor. He hit the ground. Silence returned. Message sent. Admiral Karzul watched in horror as the feed from the boarding party went dark. No signals. No life. Dead. Again. He slammed his hand down. This is not possible. This ship is cursed. Talik stared at the screen. The ship was not just defending. It was hunting them now. Sir. It's not a ghost ship, he whispered. It's a war machine, alive, angry. Karzul turned pale. Then another message came through from the Valiant, this time in perfect Jarkari. You sent your hunters. They are gone. You sent your warnings. We ignored them. You now face what's left of Earth. This ship does not forget. This ship does not forgive. The commander's Painilius Thorn sat alone. He watched the message being sent. He had tears in his eyes, not because he was sad, but because he still had a chance to fight. We're not done yet, are we, Core? Negative, Commander. We still have weapons, still have engines. He smiled, weak but proud. He looked at a photo near his chair. His family. His little girl. I made a promise. I wouldn't die until they remember us. The war inside the Valiant was still repairing itself, but it was far from perfect. Power cores flickered. Heat levels rose. One explosion had damaged the right side of the ship. Hull cracks were growing, and the enemy was learning. They stopped attacking directly. Now they circled, watched, probed. Waiting. Planning. Commander. Thorn knew it wouldn't take long before they tried again, stronger and smarter. He needed a new plan. The old trick. Elias remembered something from Earth's war strategy book. He leaned forward. CORE, open access to stealth drive bay. I want to see the cloak reactor myself. Warning, bay unstable. Radiation levels high. Doesn't matter, I need to do this. He walked slowly to the old tech bay. There it was, an ancient human stealth system. Powerful, dangerous, once banned because it was unstable. But right now, it was the only way to hide from a full fleet. The silent move. The Valiant went dark again. Engines off. Lights off. Everything off. From the outside, it looked like it had died. The Jarkari saw it too. Scanners showed nothing. No heat. No life. Karzul's ships moved closer. Closer. Scan again, he ordered. Still nothing, his officers said. He grinned. Finally. The ghost is dead. He ordered 3 destroyers to fly past it, just to be sure. The ghost fights back as the first destroyer passed by. The Valiant reappeared. Not slowly, not quietly, but with a flash. Cannons fired from its left wing. 2 shots. Direct hits. The first destroyer exploded. The second was crippled. The third tried to run, but was caught in a gravity mine. Boom. 3 more ships gone. The Valiant vanished again. Gone into the dark. Terror spreads. Admiral Karzul stood frozen. What? What is this? No one answered. Talek looked at the wreckage. They're not just fighting, sir. They're winning. The fleet backed away. Fear took hold. A single human ship had destroyed 6 ships in 2 days. A ghost? No. A nightmare. The galaxy remembers all. Across the Jarkari communication network, whispers began. The human ghost ship lives. It fights. It remembers. It cannot be killed. The legend of the HS Valiant spread to other races. 2. Traitors. Pirates. Colonists. Many laughed. Until they saw the wreckage photos. Then, no one laughed. A promise renewed. Elias Thorn stood on the bridge once more. Status? Energy low. Weapons cooling. Repairs ongoing. He nodded. Good enough. We live another day. He looked at the stars. He knew Earth was gone, but its voice was not. The Valiant would speak for the dead, through fire, through pain, through war. It would not stop. It would never stop. Darkness surrounded the Valiant, but inside, it burned with quiet fury. The once proud warship floated near a dead star, half-cloaked, silent and deadly. Parts of its hull still glowed red-hot from battle. Damage alarms blinked quietly. Yet the ship held together. Deep within, Commander Elias Thorn stared at the stars. He wasn't afraid anymore. He was angry. They thought humanity was weak. They thought Earth was forgotten. Now he would show them what the last human warship could do. Warning. Sirens. A low alarm echoed through the bridge. Red lights blinked. The screen showed movement. Core. The ship's AI spoke clearly. Enemy fleet closing in. Estimated arrival, 14 minutes. 15 warships, 7 support cruisers. Flagship confirmed. Elias didn't blink. There. Not running this time. Negative. Enemy fleet preparing for full engagement. The commander tightened his fists. He was tired, hungry, still healing, but his eyes were sharp. Then we give them what they came for. The enemy's challenge aboard the Jarkari flagship. Admiral Karzul stood tall before the command table. His dark eyes locked onto the glowing dot that marked the Valiant. Open a wide transmission, he ordered. The comms officer nodded. A booming voice echoed through space. Human ship. This is Admiral Karzul of the Jarkari Empire. You are outnumbered, outgunned, surrounded. You will not escape this time. Power down. Surrender. Silence followed. Then the reply came, not in fear, but in fire. Elias leaned toward his mic. This is Commander Elias Thorn, HSS Valiant. You should have brought more ships. Battle stations CORE, activated battle protocols. Shields at 42%. Weapons charging. Stealth mode disengaged. Gravity mines ready. Elias moved slowly across the bridge, still feeling pain in his legs. He reached for his old command jacket and wore it. He didn't care about the pain. He needed to look like a commander again, even if he was the last. Let's remind them who they're dealing with. The Jarkari attacked the alien fleet spread out in a V formation. Destroyers on both sides, cruisers in the back. The flagship stayed behind the others. Like a spider waiting for the web to shake. They began firing. Green. Plasma blasts raced toward the Valiant. Core responded fast. Evasive maneuvers. Engaging countermeasures. The Valiant spun to the left, flipping mid-space. It dropped 3 gravity mines and turned hard. 3 enemy ships followed too close. The mines activated. Boom. One cruiser was pulled into itself and exploded. Another was torn in half. Screams filled the enemy comms. First, kill Commander Thorne. Watch the explosion with cold eyes. That's one. Keep going. The Valiant didn't stop. Its main cannon fired back. The first destroyer took the hit directly on the side. It didn't even get time to scream. Boom. The ship became a fireball. The rest of the fleet paused. Fear began to creep in. This was no normal battle. This was a ghost. Fighting like a demon. Inside the fire CORE pushed the Valiant's engines to the limit. Warning. Reactor heat rising. Shields at 27%. Push it, Elias said. They won't get a second chance. The ship sped through open space, diving between enemy formations. Lasers missed by inches. Enemy fighters locked on. The Valiant dropped 2 flare bombs, blinding them. Turrets along the hull shot them down like flies. The Jarkari didn't understand. How was a broken, old human ship doing this? They were trained for power, not creativity. Humans were different. They were unpredictable. Flashback. Earth's final orders as Elias fired commands. A memory hit him. He was in the war room years ago. Earth's skies burned. All the top admirals were there. And the president of the Earth Coalition said something he would never forget. If even one ship survives, it must carry our rage. Let it be a sword in the dark. Let it haunt them. That ship was the Valiant, and Elias was now that sword. Back in the fight, a loud crash shook the Valiant. Core spoke. Portside armor breached. Deck 4 flooding with gas. Seal it off, Elias ordered. Route power to the forward railgun. Core did it instantly. The forward railgun powered up with a loud hum. The enemy flagship saw it and moved to dodge. Too late. The railgun fired. It didn't hit the flagship, but the ship in front of it. That smaller destroyer was torn apart. And the explosion damaged the flagship shield. Elias smirked. I call that a 2-for-1. Jarkari panic aboard the Jarkari flagship. Admiral Karzul shouted. Fall back. Regroup. This is not a ship, it's death itself. Talek looked at him. We have more ships, more firepower. Then why are we losing? Karzul screamed. Enemy was afraid, not because the Valiant was stronger, but because it didn't behave like anything they knew. It didn't follow rules. It didn't care about survival. It wanted revenge. And that made it unstoppable. They send a hacker realizing brute force wouldn't work. Karzul sent something new, a special virus digital warfare. They aimed to hack the Valiant systems, turn the AI against itself, kill the ship from the inside. The virus hit the Valiant's data wall, but Core was ready. The digital battle inside the ship's systems, a silent war began. The virus moved like a shadow. It tried to copy itself, to open the ship's airlocks, to shut down weapons. But Core fought back. Not with defense. But with traps. Firewalls that looked like doors, but were electric cages. Files that exploded. Mirrors that confused the virus until it deleted itself. Intrusion detected. Virus eliminated. Ilias nodded. Good work. Old Earth code still holds strong. The ship that wouldn't die for. More enemy ships were destroyed. The rest began retreating. Not because they were ordered to, but because their captains were afraid. No one wanted to die. Not for pride. Not our empire. Against a ship that refused to die. The message before the last ship left. The Valiant sent one more message. It played across all open channels. The voice of Ilias. Thorn, strong and clear. We are not gone. We are not forgotten. We are the last of Earth, and we will make sure you never forget what you did. This is not surrender. This is not peace. This is just the beginning. Quiet again. The stars were silent once more. The enemy fleet had scattered. Core gave the report. Damage, 63%. Ammo low, shield weak. But we are still operational. Elias sat back in his chair. Exhausted. Bleeding. But alive. Then we fight again tomorrow. Whispers across spaceward spread quickly. To smugglers. To miners. To black market. Traitors. To slaves and rebels. The last human ship still fights. It destroyed an entire fleet. It speaks with the voice of the dead. And far away, in a hidden station, far beyond known space, an old alien diplomat watched the news feed. He narrowed his eyes. So. The Valiant lives. Behind him, a shadowy figure stepped into the light. Shall we make contact? The diplomat shook his head. Not yet. But soon. If they are this dangerous alone, imagine what they could be. With allies. Silence returned to the stars. But the silence was not peaceful. It was the kind that came after fire. After screams, after death. The HSS Valiant, the last human warship, drifted through the wreckage of enemy ships. Fire still burned on some broken hulls. Bodies floated in the void. The Jarkari Empire had come with a full fleet. Only half of it escaped. The rest? Destroyed by a ship they thought was dead. Inside, the Valiant commander, Ilias Thorn, leaned against a wall inside the medbay. His left arm was wrapped in a pressure bandage. He coughed blood. His lungs were still damaged from cryosleep and smoke, but he didn't stop working. He studied maps, watched enemy channels, and reviewed power levels. Space was dark, but tension filled every corner of the HSS Valiant. The ship floated, damaged but still alive. Its engines hummed low, power was scarce, but its spirit burned strong. Commander Elias Thorne sat in the dim light of the bridge, staring at the stars. He knew the enemy was watching. They had changed their plan. No longer did they attack with brute force. Now they wanted to talk. The unexpected message COR's speakers crackled. Incoming transmission. Unknown sender. Encrypted channel opened. The screen flickered and showed a strange alien symbol. It was not Jarkari. Elias leaned forward. Put it through. The screen changed. An alien face appeared. Its skin was blue, eyes calm but serious. I am Ambassador Threx of the Zalkar Union, the alien said. We have watched your fight, human. You are different. Elias frowned. What do you want? The offer. Threx's voice was steady. We offer peace. You have fought well, but this war benefits no one. Join us. Share your technology and knowledge. Stop the fighting before more die. Elias's hands tightened into fists. You want us to surrender? No, Threx said. We want to avoid destruction, but we cannot ignore your power. Elias smiled sadly. We are not interested in peace with those who tried to wipe us out. Then we must find another way, Threx said quietly. For your sake and ours. The transmission ended. A new threat. Elias turned to Kor. What do you make of them? They are not Jarkari. They are a separate race. Their technology is advanced, but their intentions are unclear. Can we trust them? Unknown. Recommend caution. Enemy ships approached suddenly. Alarms blared. COR's voice was tense. Multiple ships detected on approach. Unknown signatures. Are they Zalkar? Possibly. But some signatures match Jarkari stealth fighters. Elias stood. Prepare for battle. Ready weapons. The bridge filled with red lights. The battle begins. Enemy fighters launched from hidden ships. They attacked with speed and precision. The Valiant's shields were low. Shields at 20%. Kor warned. Elias gave orders. Evasive maneuvers. Fire. All weapons. The Valiant's guns roared. Energy beams cut through space. Enemy fighters exploded. A deadly game. The battle was fast and brutal. The enemy used new tactics. They attacked from unexpected directions. They used electronic warfare to jam the Valiant systems. Kor struggled to keep control. Warning. System interference detected. Elias's voice was steady. Hold the line. Don't let them break us. Inside the ship, the crew of the Valiant worked in silence. Though many were gone, the ship's automated systems and drones kept fighting. Kor managed repairs while Elias focused on battle. Suddenly, a hull breach alarm rang out. Deck 7 compromised. Kor reported. Elias ordered emergency teams to seal the breach. The enemy's trick. After hours of fighting, the enemy stopped. A message came through. It was the Zalkar ambassador again. You fight well, human. But we do not wish to destroy you. We want a bargain. Elias shook his head. I don't negotiate with those who send fighters to kill me. This war is bigger than you or me, Threx said. Join us or perish. The commander's choice. Elias looked at the damaged ship around him. He remembered Earth's last words. We fight to survive, but sometimes we fight to be heard. He made his choice. Tell them, we do not trust, but we listen. The negotiation. CORE opened a secure channel. Elias spoke. Ambassador Threx, I hear you. But first, prove you want peace. Threx's voice was calm. Meet us at the neutral zone. Bring no weapons. The risk. Elias knew. The meeting was dangerous, but it might be the only way to save what was left. He prepared the Valiant for the journey. Engines glowed softly. The ship moved toward the stars. Suspense builds as the Valiant approached the neutral zone. Tension grew. Core scanned every inch. No traps detected, but sensors are unreliable here. Elias tightened his grip on the chair. Stay alert. The meeting in the black space between stars. The Valiant drifted. Two ships appeared sleek and silent. Threx's ship and a Jarkari. Destroyer. Elias boarded a small shuttle. The meeting was quiet. Words were careful. Promises were made, but trust was thin. The shadow of war back on the Valiant, Core warned. Suspicious activity detected. Multiple stealth ships approaching. Elias. Cursed, we are not safe yet. A surprise attack without warning. Enemy fighters attacked. The meeting turned to chaos. Elias rushed back to the Valiant. The battle flared again. The fight for survival. The Valiant fought harder than ever. Core's systems pushed to the limit. Enemy ships fell one by one. The battle raged for hours. Aftermath. When the dust settled, both sides had losses. The Valiant was battered, but it had survived. Elias stared at the stars. He knew the war was far from over. Promise, he whispered. We fight to live. We fight to be free. Darkness crept over the vast emptiness of space. The HS Valiant drifted. Its hull battered and scarred. Its systems strained but still alive. Commander Elias Thorne sat alone on the bridge, staring at the stars through cracked glass. The silence was uneasy. Something was coming. Something deadly. A false signal. CORE's voice broke the quiet. Commander, we have detected a new transmission. It is an emergency distress call. Elias leaned forward. From where? Coordinates place it near the Tarkin Nebula. Within Jarkari territory. Another trap? Possibility high. But life signs detected aboard the source vessel. Elias hesitated. Prepare a small rescue team, but stay on alert. This could be bait. The rescue mission. A squad of drones and 2 human soldiers prepared to board the source vessel. Elias watched as the small team left in a stealth pod. Minutes passed. Then, static. No contact. Unexpected ambush. Suddenly, alarms blared. Warning! Hull breach detected on Deck 5. The rescue pod was under attack. Core struggled to regain control. Enemy boarding party detected. Life support failing. Elias clenched his jaw. Get me visuals. The screen flickered, showing dark corridors and alien soldiers moving fast. Trapped inside, the rescue team was caught in a deadly fight, outnumbered and outgunned. They held their ground but couldn't escape. Commander, pod systems failing. We need extraction. Hold position. We're sending help. CORE's counterattacks. CORE activated. Internal defenses. Doors slammed shut. Gas released into enemy corridors. Automated turrets powered up. The shadow within. Inside the ship, a shadow moved silently. A human soldier, dressed in stealth armor, fought through enemies. His name was Cade. He was the last hope. Cade's fight. Cade moved fast. He used every trick. Smoke grenades, electroshock weapons. He took down enemies, one by one, but the numbers were growing. Desperate moments. The rescue team sent a distress call. Elias and Core worked together. We can't lose them. A bold plan. Elias decided to use the Valiant itself as bait. He ordered Core to open all internal traps. Enemies who boarded would face deadly surprises. The enemies mistake. The Jarkari attackers thought the ship was weak. They came in large numbers. They fell into traps. Explosions rocked the ship. The turning point. Cade reached the main control room. He hacked the ship's systems. He opened sealed doors. The rescue pod regained control. Extraction. The rescue team and Cade rushed back to the pod. They escaped just as the ship's power core began to overload. The explosion, a massive blast, shook the Valiant. The trap ship was destroyed. The Valiant was shaken but survived. Aftermath. Elias breathed deeply. We survived, but at what cost? Core responded. Damage critical. Repairs needed. But we remain combat capable. Hope and fear. The crew was small. The ship was wounded. But the fight was not over. A new signal, a mysterious message arrived. You have survived the trap, but the real war begins now. The next movie. Elias stared at the stars. Bring it on. The Valiant was dying. But it still flew. The once great human warship floated like a ghost through deep space. Its armor was cracked. Its engines coughed. Sparks flew from damaged walls. But it was still there, still moving, still fighting, still. Feared. Inside the wreck, Commander Elias Thorne sat alone on the command bridge. His hands were wrapped in bandages. His right leg barely worked. His voice was dry from blood loss and stress. But his eyes still burned. He stared at the screen as red lights flashed. Status, he said. Core's voice responded weakly. Shields offline. Life support at 18%. Weapons almost empty. Engines at 12% thrust. Hull breach on decks 3, 5, and 7. Elias nodded. And the enemy? They're coming. The final hunt. A massive Jarkari fleet had gathered. They were tired of the ghost ship. Tired of losing ships. Tired of fear. Now they sent everything. 50 warships. 10 flagships. Dozens of fighters. This was it. The final hunt. The warning. The Jarkari sent one last message. HSS Valiant. This is your final warning. Power down. Surrender. No escape remains. Elias stood slowly, hand gripping the side panel to stay upright. Transmit response. He ordered Core. The commander's voice echoed over open space. This is Elias Thorne, commander of the last human warship. You didn't beat us at Earth. You didn't beat us in the dark. And you won't beat us now. Come if you dare. One ship versus many. The enemy closed in. Dozens of ships surrounded the Valiant. It looked hopeless. Core whispered. Commander, we cannot win. Suggest escape attempt. Escape where? Earth's gone. Humanity is gone, but we are still here. He stared at the screen. This is where we make our stand. The secret weapon. Elias reached under the command console and opened a hidden compartment. Inside was a small black cube, an old human prototype. Core's voice shifted. Warning, you are activating an unstable device. Nova Core. I know, Elias whispered, but we're out of time. The Nova Core was a last resort bomb. One that could tear space apart within a small radius. It would kill the Valiant. And everything else near it. A final plan. Elias made his choice. He would lure the enemy closer, then activate the Nova Core. He looked at the photo taped to his screen, his daughter, smiling, still a child when Earth burned. They took everything. Let's take everything back. The trap. Elias turned the ship toward the center of the fleet. He stopped firing, pretended to be weak. The Jarkari saw it as a sign of surrender. They moved in. Closer. Eager to tear the ship apart. The countdown begins. Elias pressed the Nova Core's activation switch. Countdown, 90 seconds, Core said. The lights on the ship began to flicker. The energy buildup was enormous. Enemy ships within range, Core added. Good, Elias said. Let's show them what Unbroken really means. The Ghost. Stands tall Jarkari ships finally opened fire. Plasma shots rained down on the Valiant. The outer hull shattered. Metal flew into space. The bridge cracked. Elias fell, bleeding from the head, but he pulled himself back up. Status? He gasped. 45 seconds to detonation. Cole replied. An unexpected choice. Then something happened. A new signal appeared on the screen. Not Jarkari, not Zalkar. Something else. It was the same encrypted signal from before. Human. Ship. This is the Reveran Confederation. We've tracked your battles. If you activate that core, you'll destroy half the fleet, but also this sector. We offer aid. We offer survival. Elias hesitated. Was this real, or another lie? A risk worth. Taking the voice continued. We were allies of Earth once. We remember. Let us help you. Elias stared at the countdown. 22 seconds. He closed his eyes. Core. Paused the countdown. Paused. The decision he opened comes. If you betray us, I'll restart the core myself. The voice replied, understood. Help arrives. Dozens of Riveran ships. Warped into space. Their shields activated instantly. They engaged the Jarkari from behind. Surprise. Attack. The Jarkari panicked. Ships turned. Orders shouted. Explosions filled the sky, and in the middle of it, all. The Valiant held position. UNMOV, ING. Unshaken. Victory from the ashes. Riveran fleet fought like lightning. Precise. Brutal. Deadly. Within 20 minutes, half the Jarkari fleet was gone. The rest scattered. Retreated. Fled. They never expected the ghost ship to make friends. After the storm, silence returned. Again. This time, not because of fear, but peace. For the first time in years, Elias Thorne leaned back. He closed his eyes. Breathed. The legacy, the Valiant, was broken beyond repair. Hull torn, systems fried, but it had done its job. It had become a symbol. Of resistance. Of survival. Of humanity. A Riveran ships docked with the Valiant. Medics came aboard. Elias was taken carefully to their ship. Before he lost consciousness, he heard a voice. You are not the last, Commander. We found others, humans, survivors. His eyes widened, then closed, somewhere far away. On a small green planet, hidden beyond the edge of known space, a child ran through the grass. She laughed. She was human. And above her, in the sky, a new fleet formed. With one name written across the first ship's hull. Valiant 2. Epilogue. The ghost lives on. The legend of the last human warship spread across the galaxy. They said it was just one ship. One man. But it became a symbol of something greater. Hope. Courage. Defiance. End. Every time a Riveran or rebel ship enters battle, they whisper, we are unbroken.